Hello, my name is Sarah McIntosh, and today I'll be demonstrating the cookery term steam. Steaming is a method of preparing food by suspending it in a perforated container over boiling water, and the food is cooked by the heat from the steam rising up through it. Today I'll be using as my main equipment this pot here with a handle on it, and it's got a lid, nice tight fitting lid, and I'm going to use this basket. This is a steaming basket, and you can get other ones with 2 levels. This one collapses and opens up, and this is really versatile for anyone who wants to steam and they're not sure which pot they're going to be using at different times. It adapts to the size of the pot. When you place it inside, it fits right in. Your food will sit on top of the basket and the steam reaches the food, but also these little legs right here keep it out of the water so that the boiling water doesn't touch the food. You could also use a colander. I've got a metal one. If I had a very large pot with a lid, I could set this right inside, and this would keep it out of the food out of the boiling water. I also have this one that I demonstrated earlier. It is a smaller pot, and there's actually a metal piece that fits inside. It's a little more expensive to have your own specific one, a basket that is a metal one, but there are different ones that come together and you can place the lid on top, and that allows the steam to capture inside. Some that you can buy have more than one level. You could set another basket on top of that and then the lid. That allows you to cook different types of food and larger amounts of food. One other more traditional Chinese way to cook food using steam is to use a bamboo steamer basket, and it's more than one level in it. When you open it up, here's the top of it. Inside there is a slatted bottom on each level like this, and the 2 levels fit together. You place some parchment paper down on the slatted bottom so that the food doesn't stick to it. You place some water in the bottom of a wok. This is the lid of the wok. You keep the lid off. Put the water in the bottom of a cooking wok. Set the bamboo steamer into the wok. Place the foods and everything in there. Then you put the lid on top, and you're able to steam more than one dish or different foods on different levels at different times. I have some yellow wax beans, a head of broccoli, and a quarter of a head of cauliflower here. Taking a look at some of the florets of the broccoli, I noticed that some of them are still stuck together like this. I'm going to cut them into smaller pieces, just using some of the little stems there as a guide. And that means that most of my food that I'm going to try to steam today is going to be about the same size, just to make sure that they cook evenly. And if you have larger pieces, that will make it more difficult for the water to transfer the heat to the broccoli. So I placed my large pot onto the burner on the stove, and it's empty right now, but I'm going to add in 500 milliliters of water. Is to make sure that you have about 2 centimeters of water on the bottom of whatever pot you're using, or just making sure that the water doesn't touch the bottom of your steamer basket. Okay, the water in the pots have reached 100 degrees Celsius, and so they're boiling, and that means that I'm ready to add the vegetables. Whenever adding vegetables, you always have to consider the size and the density of the vegetables. So some of the more dense vegetables, such as carrots or today the broccoli stem and the cauliflower, should be added first. So I'm going to pour those in. Put those in. Broccoli stems first. I'm using my larger basket for the broccoli and the cauliflower. I'm going to put the cauliflower in first because it's more dense, and make sure that it's evenly distributed around so that the steam is still able to circulate. Then I'm going to put in the broccoli on top. There we go. With the lid on tight. Okay, my yellow beans have been cooking for about 3 minutes, so I'm going to take them off of the heat and just going to check to see if they're done. I'm looking for a tender crisp, and when I poke one with a fork or I pierce it with a knife, it should gently cut through and not resist as much as a crisp raw vegetable. It's time to test the broccoli and the cauliflower to see if they're done. So I'm just going to take 1 or 2 pieces here of each, and I'm going to decide if they are done by placing them on a plate. I'm going to poke them with a fork, and the fork slides in just gently. Same with the broccoli. It's firm but tender at the same time. So that's just what I'm looking for. Sometimes during steaming, if you were steaming some large pieces of carrot or whole baby potatoes, it would take a longer time to steam. So you've got to check the water level and make sure you add a little bit more in. Today I didn't need to because the steaming time was shorter, but it's definitely important to check because it can burn down, and you'll have a dry pot there, and that could ruin your pot, and also you might have a fire. So watch out for that. Here we have the result of our steam demonstration. Broccoli that's bright and green, cauliflower that is firm, not mushy, beans that are still crisp, but definitely more tender than raw, and it's a healthy way to enjoy more vegetables through steaming. Thank you for watching.